It's September now, which I think is the worst month of the year, but regardless of that, I have some updates for you, so I'm going to give you a reptile room update for September 2016. Okay, so starting out, this is something that you didn't see in the last reptile room. This is the juvenile eastern box turtle. So the reason I didn't have him in the last one is, well, let me go ahead and get him. So he is completely covered in dirt right now because he was buried in his soil. But you can see him here, he's clearly a very small turtle. But yeah, anyway, the reason I didn't show him in the previous one is because his setup was kind of just a mess. It wasn't correctly set up. He was in a 10-gallon. I moved him to this plastic tub, so it looks kind of cheap because it is, but it works just fine for him. And before, because he is technically a wild-caught animal, I don't feel like seeing stuff in the comments about me keeping him from that. But basically, he had a vitamin A deficiency. His eyes were really just puffy and kind of gross. He didn't look very healthy at the time, so I've been working the past month or two to get that back up, and now his eyes are looking much better, and they've improved really well. I've been giving him lots of fruits and veggies that have a good amount of vitamin A. I give him a box turtle diet, and then some protein like small dubia roaches and stuff. But he is quite the brave little turtle. He has no problem with just really moving around and hanging out. Taking a closer look at his setup right here, I don't know what size this tub would technically be, but if I continue to keep him as he continues to grow, he'll need to be upgraded, of course, because turtles need just a lot of space. But so yeah, the new setup for him is a mix of forest floor and eco-earth substrate. It's about 50-50 with that. He loves to burrow in it. It stays humid but not damp, which is perfect for box turtles. And then he has just a simple plastic container for his water. The water is distilled, and then in there I just have some aquarium rocks to help him get in and out of that water, but he never has any problems with that. I have some fake plants, some sticks just to help him feel more comfortable, and that little plastic tub. You might be worried because usually plastic will have sharp edges, but I actually melted those edges down, so there's no chance of him cutting himself or hurting himself on that hide or anything else in the little enclosure. On the top I have a UVB light right now, which gets his tank up to about 80 degrees. Hotspot should be about 85, so I'm going to add another light heat lamp, just enough to get that up a couple degrees. But yeah, he's really been thriving with this. I give him, as I said, the box turtle pellets, and then some stuff with high vitamin A, and the protein, and some other veggies and stuff. So he has a nice diverse diet. Yeah, all around he's been improving a lot from when I first found him. That's about it for him. Next up, we've got Olive the BTS. So in the last reptile room, I asked you what kind you think she is, because I can't tell if I couldn't tell if she was an Irian Jaya blue-tongued skink or an eastern or northern, and about half of you said Irian Jaya, about half said eastern, and a couple of you said a mix. So she's either an Irian Jaya, or an eastern, or a mix of the two, but regardless, she has a very beautiful pattern. I really like her earthy colors, and she has grown just so much. She's over a year old now. I got her when she was, like 6 weeks old, I think. Yeah, she's never had any problems from when I got her to now. She's never had any health issues. She's always been eating like crazy. I feed her protein, that's about 40 or 50% of her diet. She loves her some mealworms and occasionally dubia roaches, along with some raw egg every so often. And then I have veggies for her, and then lots of greens. I force her to kind of eat the greens because she's like me and hates collard greens, but it's really important. So I mix that in with all of her foods. Basically, she has a really wide variety, and I do my best to fill everything that she needs, and it looks like it's been paying off because she is very healthy, very active, and I think she's really happy. She's in a 40-gallon breeders enclosure, and I recently added a couple plants that I kind of just spread out. But I think she loves to sit under her water bowl, so that basically is a makeshift cool side hide. A lot of people say certain reptiles need 2 hides, so she basically built her own second hide, and then she has her warm side with the heat lamp that goes to, that's about 90, a little over 90 degrees, and then the rest of the tank's like 75 to 80 But yeah, as I said, she's a female, possibly Irian, possibly Eastern, possibly mixed blue-tongued skink, doing really well. I need to add her in more videos because she's really fun to watch eat and stuff. I actually have a video, I'm not sure if it's up now or after this, of her eating some stuff. So yeah, that's Olive with her very blue tongue. But yeah, here she is. Whoop. Here we go. Next up, we've got the American Fowlers and Oak Toads in this 40-gallon breeder, same size as Olive's. They most certainly do not get featured in enough videos, so I should add them more to stuff. But I never really take them out either, so I'll go ahead and get one out. So here's one just to show you. One of the toads. This is one of This is one of the adults right here. They are not a fan of being held, as you might be able to tell. So about 2 of the toads were a bit underweight recently, but I managed to get their diet up a bit. She's good size, but 2 of the other younger ones. So I upped their diet a bit, and now they are a good weight. So all of the toads in there are healthy and good to go. Their enclosure, I'm not going to talk about their enclosure because I recently did a whole video on that because I redid it. I just love these toads' eyes. Just look at how cool those are. She's surprisingly not peeing either. Here you can see one of the males. I just thought I'd show you the male because he's a chirper, just like all the males are. Already, listen. Come on. Now this guy I've had for I think over 3 years. There's 2 toads that I actually caught like 3 years ago when I was younger. Unfortunately, one of those toads managed to escape the enclosure like a year ago. That was the first time I ever had an animal, or still the only animal I've ever had escape. But yeah, he's the longest amphibian that I think I've ever had, so he's still not used to me too. So right here is something new. Well, sort of new. The tank isn't new. I actually got this tank a good number of months ago when it was on sale. This is a 40-gallon aquarium, and right now I'm using it for plants. So I've got a bunch of pothos growing on one side and a couple umbrella plants on the other. I actually got these umbrella plants from the toad's enclosure. When I was trimming the plants in there, I just stuck those in some water and they ended up growing roots. So maybe those will be a couple more umbrella plants for me. Yeah, not much special about this. As you can see, I have a ton of paper towel and a fogger on this to keep that humidity nice and high for that pothos to grow well. Also, you might be wondering what this little colorful thingy is. I just made this kind of for fun to see if it was more efficient than watering the plants just by hand. It's really not because it's so few, but it's basically just a bunch of straws glued together with holes in them and popsicle sticks, and I just stick the mister up to it and pump some water in it, and you can see it just kind of sprays it all at once. So it's kind of cool, and it actually kind of works pretty well. Next up right here, we've got Goldie. He is a giant leopard gecko. I think he's a Sunglow APTOR or something like that. APTOR is Shrimper albino patternless orange leopard gecko. So he's got quite the complicated name. But yeah, he's been doing really well. He eats just mealworms with all of his supplements. And you can see he is quite the big gecko. He is bigger than your average gecko because of that giant genetics he's got. And he's actually, I've had him for like 2 years now, and he's been much better with handling recently. He used to just kind of start freaking out, occasionally scream at me, only when I touched him though, but now he's pretty chill about it. And his enclosure is just a 20-gallon with some repti carpet, and then his 2 hides, and then his just usual water bowl and food dish. So yeah, he's just a nice, slow, calm animal. Sleeps all day, of course. And yeah, he's the second reptile I ever got. You can see just how fat his tail is. When I first got him, he actually wouldn't eat. The breeder was feeding him superworms, but he wouldn't eat those, and I switched him to mealworms, especially since those are lower in fat anyway, and I'm not going to be breeding him. But yeah, I woke him up from his nap, so I'm going to go ahead and put him back so he can get his beauty sleep before his nighttime. Right here I've got Gobi, the albino corn snake. I don't know if it's actually male or female because I did not get him directly from the seller. He's a bit of a rescue who I got from someone else, but he's just got those super bold colors, those nice red eyes, and he's been crazy healthy, and he eats adult mice once a week. He loves to be out. I need to take him outside more often. I let him out just hang out with me or in my room as often as possible, but he needs more fresh air, as do all of my snakes. But I'm pretty sure he's done growing. I don't know how old he is to be exact, but when I got him he was quite underweight. He hadn't eaten in I think 3 months or so. But yeah, he immediately started eating frozen thawed, which is interesting because he originally was eating live, so I'm surprised he switched over so quickly. He just pooped in his tank, so at least I won't be pooped on. But yeah, he's doing really well. He's just really active. He's always paying attention. He just really enjoys to be out and about doing his thing. So that's Gobi the albino corn snake in his 20-gallon with forest floor bedding, a water bowl, and a hide. But his tank's really boring, so maybe give me some ideas of what I can do to his enclosure to make it more interesting for him. Something I always think is cool is corn snakes have that Indian corn pattern on the bottom, but just look at how dull his is. It's like that really cool gray and white because of those albino genetics he's got. Next up we've got the second snake, who is Sunny. I would say he's kind of the highlight of my animals. Not to pick favorites, but he is the first reptile I ever got. He's what kind of started what I have now, and he's most certainly a special one, and he's been doing really well. He's always been weird about eating, just because he kind of goes on and off feed. He doesn't eat during breeding season because he's a male and he's too busy looking for a mate, which I'll never find because he is the only ball python I have. He's yellow belly ball python. You can kind of see, I don't really notice the yellow belly, but I picked him out because he has just those really bold black colors compared to a normal ball python, which is a little bit more dull, but still really nice looking. You can see he's got just a tiny bit of shed left right there. That's the only spot on him from his most recent shed, so I can help him get that off later. But yeah, it's just so crazy to think about. Here, I'm gonna put him in the palm of my hand because I have a picture with him in my hand. See, here it is. This is the day I got him, or maybe the day after, but you can just see the difference, how much he's grown in the past 3 years. He was born in August 2013. I got him December 2013, and he's never lost those really nice bold colors that I really like on him. He's also the only one of my snakes that has ever bitten me, but it was because I had that mouse scent on my hands while feeding him. I was hand feeding him, I think, and I wasn't really paying attention, so nowhere near as bad as I expected. It was really no problem. So if you're thinking about getting a ball python or really any small snake that's non-venomous, of course, you will have basically no problems with biting. Okay, so lastly we've got Shadow, the black rat snake right here. He's one I removed from the nearby construction site, and he most certainly does not like being held. He's actually the first black rat snake I've ever found that doesn't like being handled, so I'm working on really getting him used to that. So let's see how it goes right now. So while I'm getting this out, you'll notice his enclosure is really boring and really bland, and that's not a very good hide. I'm working on that. All the pet stores near me do not have any proper hide or water bowl sizes right now. I'm not sure why, but I'll fix that later, so don't worry about his pretty bad setup. I'm fixing that. Alright, he's already... I can almost guarantee he will musk on me. Okay, here he is. He's definitely getting better. I would not have been able to do this somewhat recently before this, but now this is actually possibly one of the best times I've had while holding him. He's really calmed down, and he did not musk yet. He strikes at me a lot when I'm cleaning out his enclosure. He really just doesn't like being messed with while he's in his tank, but once he's out, he's much better. I'm gonna keep him away from my face though. I keep saying he, I don't actually know if it's male or female, and I'm not sure about the age. It looks so much smaller though, just while I'm holding him. So he's still a bit skittish when I move my hands around, which is understandable. He's taking baby steps, and so am I with holding him. I'm not a fan of him being so close to my face. He just totally licked my nose right there. But yeah, that concludes the September Reptile Room 2016 for my animals right now. So that concludes today's Reptile Room. If you enjoyed it, please consider checking out my other videos, and if you would like, you can subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss a video. Also, if you hit that little notification button, you can see it right there on mobile and on the computer. If you hit that, then you can get notifications sent to your device or to your email so that you do not miss a video from me. I do my best to upload 7 days a week, but that's pretty hard sometimes. But yeah, that's it for this video. Let me know what you thought about it. I'm Alex, and thanks for watching.